So. Caitlin Clark is obviously incredible. She's one of the best rookies in a long, long time. And the fact is that she's... Any other year, there would be no Rookie of the Year debate. She would be it. It's just unfortunate for her, for the Rookie of the Year debate. And also unfortunate for Angel Reese that there are two historically great rookies in the same class. But it is very interesting to hear the game plan of Angel Reese's coach herself about Caitlin Clark. And that Christy Sides is in fact allowing... They don't even need to game plan. Christy Sides is doing it herself. Before we get on, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to hit 20.1k by the end of the day, and we are only 4 subscribers off that right now. But if you guys don't know, Caitlin Clark, obviously, the team is playing better. The more Caitlin Clark has the ball in her hands, the better that they are. And it's not even about Caitlin Clark scoring. She did score well yesterday, but it is really not in any way about her individual scoring, because her individual scoring is pretty good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it is what's she averaging? Nearly 17 points a game. That is incredible for a rookie. 17 points a game is absolutely incredible for a rookie, who's also going to lead the WNBA in assists. Through her last 10 games, she's averaging 9.8 assists per game. No one has ever averaged 10 assists for a season in the history of WNBA. For the last 10 games in her rookie year, and by the way, she's only played 23, she's averaging 9.7. Which is like 2 more assists than Alyssa Thomas, which is leading the WNBA. She's going to lead the WNBA in assists as a rookie. She might set she's going to set the all-time rookie record for assists. She might set the all-time WNBA record for total assists, because the most assists in a season was in the bubble. So that doesn't, not that it counts, but like, it also kind of doesn't. She's going to set the total assist record for the season. She just is. She 100% is going to set that. But you can see here, in this article, is talking about just the Caitlin Clark's rookie year. Most of Clark's fast facilitation comes out of pick and roll, and then it also says here, if you're looking about the Chicago Sky, where is it here? Due to her unique gifts, opponents often choose to send multiple defenders Clark's way in order to, in the Chicago Sky coach Teresa Weatherspoon's words, get the ball out of her hands as quickly as possible to allow other people make decisions. Get the ball out of her hands to allow other people make decisions. So she's one of the better coaches. And not only, you want to talk about X's and O's. Like, Teresa Weatherspoon has forgotten more about the sport of basketball than most of us have ever done. She's one of the greatest of all time. That's probably an exaggeration, but she's an incredibly great WNBA player. But you can see here, her talking to Christy Sides. She probably is thanking Christy Sides. She's probably thanking Christy Sides, being like, oh man, you were up 15 points and you brought on Erica Wheeler and told Caitlin Clark to go stand in that corner for that game. You know, we just wanted the ball out of Caitlin Clark's hands and we didn't have to do anything. You did it yourself. You did it yourself, Christy Sides. That was our whole game plan. We couldn't do it through 3 quarters. Caitlin Clark set your assist record through 2.5 quarters. And she was just pinging past. She had 13 assists with 13 minutes to go in the game. She was going to set the all-time WNBA assist record. We couldn't stop her. We couldn't do anything to stop her. But you did, Christy Sides. Thank you. You brought Erica Wheeler on. Thank you, Christy Sides. You did our job. You did my job for me. But like you can see here again, late in the game, making sure that Caitlin Clark is, like, that's not even a decoy play. That's just a bad play. Making sure Caitlin Clark is as far away from the ball as possible. The ball did not cross into Caitlin Clark's side of the floor once. So, you're talking about a coach, or an opposing coach, talking about how important it is to get the ball out of her hands. And your coach, her as a coach, trying to do it. In fairness, she's doing it less. Teams don't need to scheme against the Fever. Side schemes against herself. It is, like, it's not even a joke. It's actually funny. When it matters. And this is the one thing I will always say about coaches, where it's like, when it matters, you always revert back to what you know. Like, I played for one of, like, underage, when I was a kid growing up in Ireland. I played for who was the single best young coach in the country. He was the best young coach in the country. We were the best team in the country. Or if not the best, second best team. Like, we won the national championship. But it was like, the year after we won, we basically, we had a big guy, one of the best big guys in the country. He went off to go to a basketball academy overseas, and we were just all small. Like, I was 6'2" and I was our backup center. We went and just ran. he put in a system that won us the national championship, playing against kids 1-2 years older than us all. Like, he was like 3 years older than me that were playing against me. Like, and we won the national championship. And the next year, the big guy came back. He had a brother who was really good and big as well. Two really good players. But it was like, we hadn't won before we went small ball, and we got the bigs back. And when the going kind of got tough, it was he reverted back to what he had known previously, which was go to bigs, let's go inside, which hadn't worked previously. But that's just all coaches. That's just like all coaches. And I do it myself. I genuinely do it myself when I coach the sport of basketball. Is that like when I'm making decisions, a player could be having a terrible game. A style of play might not be working, or a different style of play might be working in a game. And when it gets into crunch time, you go back to what you know. You go back to what you think is the right idea. And a lot of the times, you go back to something that hasn't been working in a game and probably isn't going to win you the game. Like, that just happens with coaches. And that is the case with Christy Sides, is that when Caitlin Clark just took it upon herself to will her team back into that game. She willed her team back into that game. But when the going really gets tough, it is Kelsey Mitchell. We are running a play for Kelsey Mitchell. She might be 0 of 7 for 3. We are running a play for Kelsey Mitchell. Just like in the Chicago game, where Caitlin Clark starts off the fourth quarter, bang, bang, gets it to an 11-point game, hits 2 threes. And for the rest of the fourth quarter, Caitlin Clark was told to get out of the way. Okay, this is a game we can't blow. You know what? We're going to Aaliyah. We're going to Aaliyah, who's really she actually was pretty okay in that game. We're going to her. Christy Wallace, you're going onto the floor right now, and we're drawing up a play to get Caitlin to draw 2 defenders and slip it to Aaliyah Boston for a jump shot. So you can see that's all. Christy Wallace has not gone to Caitlin Clark properly late in the game. The only time you could argue she did was against the Seattle Storm, when Caitlin Clark kind of curled. She kind of curled and kind of fumbled the ball and ended up with Boston, and she tipped it straight to the other team. Like, that was the one time she may have done it, but she also was a horrible end line play. It was a horrible pass, horrible end line play. It was just badly drawn up, but at least the ball was in her hands there. And you could argue this Connecticut Sun game, but you could see, and that was a orchestrated Caitlin Clark draw to beat a decoy, Aaliyah Boston fake and drive to the basket. You could see what was orchestrated in that play. So she isn't going to Caitlin Clark late in games. And you can see it. And it's not even about Caitlin Clark getting the last shot, by the way. I don't necessarily think Caitlin Clark has to shoot the ball every single time. Like, some people are going to say Caitlin Clark needs to shoot 25 times a game. Some people are going to say no matter what, Caitlin has to take a shot. I'm never a believer of players having to take the shot. I'm never a believer of a player individually having to take a last shot. But as long as the ball's in someone's hands who's going to make the right play. That's why I'll never mind, was it in game 3 of the finals where LeBron James gave the ball to the maybe one of the 3 greatest 3-point shooters of all time, Kyle Korver, wide open to ice the game when he got triple teamed instead of shooting the ball himself. I'll never complain about that. Like, you will never complain about the right play. And that's the issue with Christy Sides, is that she had it in her head at the start of the season that Caitlin Clark was a shooting guard. And you could see from a lot of the interviews and like her getting off the ball and talking about moving off the balls, that she had it in her head that Caitlin Clark's a shooting guard and she wants to use Caitlin Clark as a shooting guard. And a lot of the time when the going gets tough and she's there to make a call, because she doesn't call that many timeouts, a lot of the time the game just goes. The game goes, whatever happens, happens. But you could see when things break down, she takes the ball out of her hands. She will often take the ball out of her hands. And you can see it even against the Liberty. When the ball was in Caitlin Clark's hands, she was getting and pushing. She was getting rebounds. They were missing shots. Down the stretch, it was just a horrible, horrible third quarter. And yeah, it's just interesting. Look, I think Christy Sides is a terrible coach, but it's very interesting reading that with Teresa Weatherspoon, that literally she game planned against herself, which is wild.